बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। हम आपके सामने आज दोबारा एक प्रोग्राम लेकर आए हैं जो मैक्स वॉटकिंस के साथ हो रहा है। मैक्स वॉटकिंस, जैसा हमने आपको पिछले प्रोग्राम में बताया था, ये एक कंपनी के सरबराह हैं जो कि फंडिंग और फाइनेंसिंग अरेंज करती है। आइए मैक्स से बात करते हैं और समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि ये आपके लिए और हमारे लिए क्या कर सकते हैं। मैक्स, वेलकम टू द शो।
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome, sir. Max, last time we spoke about several programs, and we were talking about financing of which is mortgage for the houses, but we were not able to come to a situation where we could discuss the programs in detail. Is it possible for you to explain the programs one by one, and what else do you do so that our audience and our viewers will be able to understand it more?
Absolutely.
Max, let's talk about one program which we touched last time, and that was Don't Be Stuck Inside the QM Box. What do you mean by it?
Again, when we were talking about don't get stuck inside the QM box, we were meaning the traditional funding that's available that most people are familiar with, such as your standard loans that require you to pay PMI or things like that, mortgage insurances. We don't want you to get stuck in that. We want to be able to offer you a variety of options when it comes to funding and facilitating monies, whether it's a development deal that you're looking to acquire with us or you're looking to purchase a home.
What do you mean by QM then? What does QM stands for? Because you have various programs, okay, and you are saying that no prepay penalty in this program, private money, no lender points, and then you are talking about loan programs where true stated income and stated income, verified assets loans are available for rates starting from 7.99, non-owner occupied 1 to 4 family houses, business purpose owner-occupied loans, foreign national loans, FBC and flip purchases, cross-collateralization loans, non-warrantable condos, condo to else, I don't know what it means. So can you explain one thing at a time?
Sure.
I'll be
speak
if you don't mind, speak a little louder.
Sure.
And then explain what is what and why.
Okay. So this is what we're talking about. When we're talking about we don't want you to get stuck in a certain box, we're just talking about the different variables when it comes to mortgages.
Right.
All right. So that's it. So when we're talking about the QM, it's any questions or concerns that you may have regarding mortgages. And we don't want you to get stuck in a box, meaning that you feel that you have absolutely no other options because you may not have the credit that most banks look for you to have.
Okay.
So again, we just like to give you a variety of options, and I'll explain each one in verbatim to you. The first one that you're looking at here is our rates start at 7.99. So you're talking about an 8% interest rate. However, on this particular program, this doesn't apply to everybody. This is a loan program that's true to stated income. When it comes to stated income, that means that we verify everything just through assets. So we're willing to give you a loan just based off the assets that you have coming in.
So you mean to say that when you're financing and you're giving us loans on basis of assets, you mean to say that if one of our viewer is going to buy a house, the value is $350,000 or $400,000, that is an asset which will be brought and which will be financed?
Well, yes and no. Here's the situation. You're a contractor, which means that you work seasonal. For most people that contract or a landscaping company, it's seasonal. So because it's seasonal, most banks, traditional funding, your A-paper banks, meaning your Bank of America,
other major lenders,
Wells Fargo's, exactly, things like that. So those are labeled as A-paper banks. So when you go to these places, we look for 2 years. So we want to know that you've been employed for at least 2 years without a gap in employment.
Right.
So when there's a gap in employment, whether it was you collected unemployment or things like that, that becomes an issue. for most
Right.
lenders because it's not consistent. It needs to be consistent without the gap. We understand that there may be a gap in employment, and we understand why. So as a result of that, we've come up with other programs. So a stated program will avoid me from saying, hey, I need your W-2s, or I need your 1099s.
So when you're saying assets, what assets you are talking about? That is not really clear.
When we go into assets, we're talking about what do you have liquidity, meaning what's in the bank. Not.
Oh, okay. Your personal assets.
Correct.
Before
personal-
signing a
right,
contract.
That's accurate.
Okay.
We're not trying to cross-collateralize a car or
Okay.
anything like that. We want to know that you actually have solid cash, hard
Okay.
cash.
The down payment for down payment.
That's correct. That we can actually identify.
Okay.
And as long as we can identify it and you meet the criterias, we can move forward.
Okay. I see. That is what you're talking about when you're talking about assets.
Right.
Okay,
On
now-
a stated income.
On unstated income.
Stated.
Stated income.
Correct, correct.
Say, for example, if somebody is filing a tax return for 2015, where we will take an example of $100,000.
Okay.
But this was a company which was doing seasonal work for 8 months or 9 months out of year. In winter, they will not be gardening and those kind of
Correct.
people. So, how would you qualify them?
Again, we would qualify them based off of the income. We would look
On the basis of tax return?
Right.
Because they do not have any W2 forms or bank statements. What will be? I want you to be very, very crystal clear.
Okay.
Because
When
our viewers are they want to know in detail and in depth that how would you do it, and when they come to you, what should they bring to you?
Very good. If we're talking about a stated loan, because I want to be very specific in what we're talking about because you wanted me to address a few. Starting with the stated loan program, it's just what it is, stated. So you're going to tell me what it is that you make. So if you say you made $100,000,
I see.
Then you made $100,000 because it's stated. What qualifies you for a stated loan would be a person that has a 680 or a 700 credit score. Because
Okay.
your credit tells a lot about you.
Okay.
Someone that has a 700 credit score, we at the bank feels that that's a person that's pretty responsible and
Okay.
cares about their credit. So we're willing to, you make one step, we'll make two for you.
So now you are saying that you will accept whatever is told to you that I made $150,000 last year. You do not want to see any proofs of that because I'm stating that. But at the same time, you will apply the credit scores to that application, to that loan, to that qualification. But at the same time, you are asking for a interest rate which is higher than what the commercial banks are offering right now. Why?
Well, allow me to finish. Anytime there's a stated loan, we know that it's stated because there's a hiccup. There's something stopping you or hindering you from getting a traditional loan. We're aware of that.
I see.
We're comfortable with it because we know that things happen where there could be an isolated incident, but we're aware of the fact that there are some challenges. So we're saying, okay, there's penalties that you have to pay as a result of that. If
see.
you're a high-risk loan for us, then you're not going to get a 3% interest rate because you're already a high risk factor. We're aware of that. So that's why we start at 7.99%.
Is there any negotiations available on 7.99 on this kind of loan?
None.
That is it, fixed?
None, right. The only thing that I could advise is if your returns are not being filed correctly, or the way we may need them structured, is that you say, you know what, I need to get this to get to where I need to go.
Right.
Because it makes sense, whether there's a lot of equity in a home or whatever it is that makes sense for that individual. They can pick it up. They can then, in turn, the following year, file their tax returns the proper way, or if they need another 8 to 10 months on their job, whatever it is that they need to do, they'd have the allotted time to get themselves together and then refinance to pull them out of that high interest rate loan.
I see. Are there any points on top of 7.99?
Absolutely. The points on there are normally closing costs.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, they're in the loan. There are always points that are
Built in?
in your closing costs and things like that. Typically, they're about 2%, meaning it's
2
about
points.
2 points on each loan.
Okay.
Correct.
So that will be part of the closing costs.
Right, and that's pretty standard.
Okay. In a stated loan like the one we are talking right now, what kind of a down payment are you expecting from the client?
Normally, typically, it's anywhere between 5 and 10%.
5 and 10%.
That's correct.
Whereas in the regular mortgages situation with the big banks, they expect to have 20%.
20% is normally if you're looking towards a commercial loan or a second home.
Oh, or a
So-
second home.
Right. If you're looking at a investment property, a second home, things like that, it's 20 to 25%
I see.
down. Typically, if you're purchasing a property and you're putting 20% down, like you said,
Right.
there's certain programs that may require that if you're doing a conventional loan and things like that. We haven't gotten to those yet.
What is a conventional loan then?
A conventional loan is a loan that it's pretty standard, as most loans are. It is a loan that is you avoid mortgage insurance when you're
Right.
doing a conventional loan.
I see.
Remember last week we touched on an FHA loan?
Right.
The FHA requires 3.5%. You
Right.
pay mortgage insurance on an FHA loan. The only difference between the two loans is FHA is insured, the other one is not.
I see. So that's conventional loan.
That's correct.
What else does it have in this program?
The other programs that we offer are non-owner occupied, 1 in 4 units.
I see.
A lot-
Okay. Max, what we will discuss, we will take a short break. We'll come back and we are going to discuss at length. The goal of this program is to make everyone who is watching this understand that it is doable, it is cost effective, and you are willing to help them in getting their dream houses.
Absolutely.
So we'll take a short break and we'll come back.
I thank you.
वेलकम टू द शो अगेन। अभी आपके सामने हम मैक्स से बातचीत कर रहे थे और हम आपसे गुफ्तगू में ये आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे कि आप मकान अगर पूरा अच्छी तरह आपका क्रेडिट स्कोर एक्सेप्टेबल भी नहीं है और आप मकान लेना चाह रहे हैं तो मैक्स किस तरह आपकी मदद कर सकता है। आपको अभी तक हमने ये नहीं बताया कि इनकी कंपनी वॉटकिंस कैपिटल जो है, वॉटकिंस फंडिंग जो है, वो मकानों की मॉर्गेज के अलावा भी बहुत से दूसरे काम करते हैं। वो आपके बिजनेसेस को फाइनेंस करते हैं, वो आपको लोन दिला सकते हैं अगर आप कंस्ट्रक्शन का बिज़नेस कर रहे हैं। आप अगर कोई चीज़ एक्वायर करना चाह रहे हैं, एक्विजिशन करना चाह रहे हैं, कोई स्टोर ख़रीदना चाह रहे हैं, कोई बिज़नेस ख़रीदना चाह रहे हैं, वो आपको दिला सकते हैं। अगर आप ये चाहते हैं कि आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल मिल जाए तो वर्किंग कैपिटल का अरेंजमेंट कर सकते हैं। आइए मैक्स से बातचीत करते हैं। वेलकम टू द शो मैक्स।
Thanks for having me.
What I was trying to explain my viewers was that you are not only doing the mortgages for the house, you are also in a position where you can offer get the money for the people who are already in business and they want to expand it. Say, for example, contractors and construction business. Say, for acquisitions, somebody wants to buy a business. They are willing to put some money down and you can arrange the financing for that. What else can you offer beside these traditional things, mortgages and funding for these things?
Well, what we do in-house is, when you said what else, that's a lot. What you named is a lot.
I understand that.
And there's a lot more that we actually can offer clients and consumers and things like that. Number one, we really look at building personal relationships and really being partners with our clients and getting them to where they need to be. We offer for the ones that are, if you want to talk about the contractors or people that work in the fix and flip industry.
We have, in our community of Pakistani Indians and Bangladesh,
Okay.
there are a lot of personnel or people who are involved in construction business also.
Right.
I mean, when I say a lot, there are dozens and dozens of them, and some of them in New York do for the city also.
Right.
They have city contracts, and here in New Jersey also, a friend of mine gets a lot of state and city contracts. So what we are trying to find out that, are you in a position to help these contractors in New York, New Jersey, and elsewhere in America, where they can depend on you when they are making a bid for a next project? Or are you doing the invoices, financing of the invoices which have been raised for against the city and against the state? So can you, if you can...
Sure. To target exactly what you're saying, the contractors. So let's just start with the
Let's
contractors.
talk about
because you brought them
contractors.
up specifically.
Right.
When it comes to what I can do to fund them, it's funny because money is funded on Wall Street. Our corporate office is right on Wall Street as well. I deal with a lot of clients that I have right now that just happen to be Pakistani, just because you brought them up. And what they do is they do a lot of fix and flips, meaning they find a lot of short sales. They buy low and they sell a little bit higher to make a nickel out of a dime, if you will. In order to do that, when they don't have the cash in hand, we have programs where we're able to offer small businesses, and not a SBA loan or anything like that, which we can get them, but we offer personal lines of credit and business lines of credit as well. So there are certain programs that if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to build or expand your business in the residential market, where you're fixing and flipping, meaning you're 1 to 2s or anything like that, we have financial institutions out there that would actually give you what's called a business line of credit. And a lot of those lines of credit are simply to purchase real estate with. So I may be able to give you a standby letter of credit or a business line of credit at $3 to $5 million, but it could be only used for the real estate purposes.
I see. When you're saying real estate purposes, and when we are talking about the contractors in the South Asian community, these contractors, they bid on the city contracts, and they have to, qualify to get the contracts. They need to show that they have line of credits and all that. You can provide that on what basis?
What happens is when you get a letter of credit, we're basically guaranteeing you the money. You walk in, whether you're presenting your proposal with that, you give that to the people that hold the power to the pen. They view it, they do their due diligence. They then in turn contact the financial institution to ensure that this indeed what they're viewing is accurate and official, which it will be. And that's all you needed.
So you mean to say that you are, if there is a contract or a bid by New York City, or say by the city of Addison, and a contractor is trying to bid on that project, how would you qualify that?
Well, we don't qualify anything. We don't have to. What we're doing is we're qualifying the individual for the money.
I see. So the corporation, which is owned by me 100%, who is qualified to bid, will be eligible to be qualified with you, so that you will issue a letter of credit to this corporation that if you get a contract, this much is insured.
Well, I don't want to confuse the issue. We deal with hundreds of people right now that go to auctions.
Right.
You know what an auction is. Most townships or municipalities have an auction.
Right.
So you go to an auction, you place a bid on a home. If you place a bid and you win the bid, and you want to purchase that through your letter of credit, we're fine with that. You purchase the bid, you show us the bid offer, the money is executed. That's how we allocate it.
So what you're saying is that our South Asian community, and if the person who is running their own business, they can feel secured and go after and get a bid, do the bidding process in foreclosures. That's what I think you mean, right?
Right, that's accurate. But the example that I was giving you was I was saying we offer business lines of credit as well as personal line of credit. You can go to, if that's the case, you want to go to an auction, you can come to us and get money and do whatever you want with the money, whether it to be put down on a house, go to an auction, finance your wedding. We're in the business of
But
lending
that
money.
will become like a personal loan then.
Right. Again, business lines of credit and business and personal loans. We do business loans and personal loans as well.
Can you make it a little more clear that let's take an example that Mr. X goes to an auction being done by the city, and before he goes to auction, he wants to feel secured and he wants to be comfortable that if he bids on this building, he will be able to acquire it. How does this process take place?
Sure. Okay.
I hope I'm not trying.
No. I want to.
My goal is to make everybody
Right.
understand in such an easy way that they are comfortable and they can come to you. That is the goal.
Sure, and I can appreciate that. And I want to be very careful about what I say. I'm just trying to be mindful that you have a lot of different views out there. So, to answer your question, if a person is sitting in an auction,
Right.
bidding on property,
Right.
I have nothing to do with them winning or losing a bid.
Naturally.
But assuming that they won the bid,
Right.
they won the bid before they even got there. They've come and they've sat with a financial analyst
I
like
see.
myself, and we don't necessarily have to know what they're using it for,
Oh, I
as
see.
long as it's real estate owned. There are certain lines of credit that we offer. Now, on a personal line of credit, and I don't want to jump
can be
from
anything.
that, you can be used for whatever. A wedding, your children's graduation, whatever
personal
it is.
reasons, okay.
Correct. Now, that's one thing. That's a personal line of credit where you say, hey, I just need me some money to get through a situation, or there's an opportunity, whatever it is. As long as you meet our criteria, you're fine with that. And then we'll discuss we can circle around and discuss the criteria a little bit later. However, that's your personal. Your business lines of credit, there's a business line where you may say, hey, listen, I want to borrow some money against my business. If you're talking about an entrepreneur that does flipping, that needs money for real estate owned, there's programs that we have where we can give you a standby letter of credit, or we can offer you a line of credit that could only be used for real estate purposes. And it can go anywhere from $2 million to $5 million.
Max, the program has been so interesting and and we were absorbed so much in these discussions that we are really running short on time. And what we will do that in the next program, we will invite you again, and we will ask you to please, discuss at length and ensure that the people who are watching this program, they will be able to come to you without fear, without being, there are a lot of scammers, without any scams, and they will be able to really fulfill their dream and go to the next step. The dream, the American dream is to own a house.
Right.
And the American dream is to own a business. And the American dream is to flourish, to move forward.
Right.
And you want to help people who are the first generation immigrants.
Right.
You will help them to fulfill their dreams, really. That's what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
So next time what we are going to do is that we will discuss specific programs. We will not be jumping from one to another. And in the meantime, what we are going to do, we will, the producers and the TV owners will be giving out their own emails after these programs have been broadcasted, and we will try to get the feedbacks from the customers also.
Awesome.
So there may be possible situation where there will be questions which did not come to my mind, and they will be asked from you. So we cannot have really a live show because that requires a lot of time and patience to answer. What we will ask our viewers is to, after watching these programs, please send your emails to Asia Tribune and write down in the subject funding and money, and send your questions, send your emails, and we will go through every email. We will not be able to answer your email individually, but the questions which will be raised by you in your emails, we will try to address those questions with Mr. Watkins. As I told you in the beginning and of the first program and now, that Mr. Max Watkins is a professional. I and a lot of my colleagues and associates have used the services being offered by Watkins Capital, and they are professionals, helpful, and the most important thing for them was they were very, very quick. So be comfortable to send the emails to Asia Tribune, ask questions, and we will answer, and hopefully we will be able to assist and help you in getting your dreams fulfilled. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.